Students of the Royal Latin School, on your behalf and on behalf of all the staff and governors, I open our Remembrance service. Whilst we cannot be together in person, we're extremely privileged to continue our tradition of remembrance at the Royal Latin School. And I extend a warm welcome to Old Latins and members of our local community. As per the government guidelines, all our filming for this year's service has observed social distancing or involved students from the same bubble. For all of us at the Royal Latin School, our service is an opportunity to remember those members of our school who lost their lives in the 2 world wars of the last century. We're also remembering all of the victims of wars, past and present, soldiers and civilians. As you sit in your classrooms, I ask that you consider those who've sacrificed everything so that we may enjoy the peace in which we live today. The phrase unprecedented times has been widely used in the last 6 months, and perhaps we're experiencing in some small way what it must have been like for any community or country plunged into the depths of war. The negatives, such as rationing of basic commodities, the loss of loved ones, and the uncertainty of the future, but also the positives, the inspirational resilience to overcome adversity, and the sense of community which comes out of the darkness. In the last 7 months, we've been comforted by those of our wartime generation who have already experienced such hardships. We've seen their resilience, determination to keep hope alive, and have been inspired by both Captain Tom and the Queen, whose calm fortitude and reassurance gave us all encouragement. For the next part of our service, you'll hear from several of our students who are remembering relatives of those military men and women who inspire them.
I'm remembering my great-granddad who fought in World War II. He was part of the Royal Engineers and had a very narrow escape after stepping on a landmine.
I'm remembering my relative Luther Meek, who served on board HMS Ajax. He served at the Battle of the River Plate in December 1939 and was honoured for his service. Sadly, he was killed in action near Malta on the 12th of October 1940. He was only 19 years old.
I'm remembering Walter Tull. On the 1st of September 1909, an amazing piece of history was created. As he stepped onto the pitch ready to play against Sunderland, he was now the first mixed-race outfield player to appear in the Football League. Even though this game ended in a 3-1 loss, his participation was groundbreaking and will always be remembered. After the First World War broke out, Walter Tull, a professional football player, enlisted into the British Army. He rose to the rank Lance Sergeant and fought in the Battle of Somme 1916. Walter became the first mixed-race commissioned officer in the British Army in 1917. Despite regulations at the time excluding soldiers who were not of pure European descent from being given that rank, he was praised for his gallantry and coolness in battle and was nominated for the Military Cross. He died in action during the First Battle of Bupame in 1918.
I'm remembering my great-granddad who was a Major General in the Second World War. He was captured in Singapore, escaped, but was then recaptured and taken to a Japanese prisoner of war camp. After the war, he was awarded with an OBE and an MBE to recognise his bravery and efforts.
I am remembering Corporal Sarah Louise Bryant, who was killed in action by an IED in Afghanistan in 2008. She was in the Intelligence Corps and was the first female soldier to be killed in the Afghanistan conflict.
We now come to the formal part of our service. We reflect on those former Royal Latin students who fought and died in the First and Second World Wars. Before the roll of honour, Dr. McCarthy will ask you to stand as she reads the names of the Royal Latin soldiers who died in the 2 world wars. Please think of those values: democracy, individual liberty, the rule of law, and mutual respect and tolerance, which have been upheld through their sacrifice.
The Flanders poppy was first described as the flower of remembrance by Colonel John McCrae, who, before the First World War, was a well-known professor of medicine at McGill University in Montreal. At the outbreak of the First World War, he decided to join the fighting ranks, and was posted in France as a medical officer. At the Second Battle of Ypres in 1915, when in charge of a small first aid post and during a lull in the action, he wrote in pencil on a page torn from his dispatch book the following verse.
In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
The verses were sent anonymously to Punch magazine and published under the title In Flanders Fields. The First World War finally came to an end in November 1918 when an armistice was declared so that peace terms could be arranged. At 11 a.m. on November the 11th, the last shot of the war was fired. For many years afterwards, Armistice Day was observed on the 11th of November, but now it is known as Remembrance Sunday and is always held on the second Sunday in November.
The Modern British Soldier by Lieutenant Colonel Lyndon Robinson. The modern soldier is red on the inside and any colour skin on the outside, but what is presented to the world is the uniform, rank and medals which are worn with pride. The modern soldier could be a male, female or transgender. The modern soldier may worship in a church, a mosque, synagogue or temple or nowhere at all. The modern soldier may be gay, straight, full-time or part-time. Modern soldiers love their comrades, are proud of their army and its traditions. The modern soldier knows that in fighting, death or serious injury may befall them. A modern soldier knows too that they are respected by their officers, admired by their peers and loved by their mates. The modern British soldier honours those who went before them and reveres the company of veterans. Some soldiers are tall, others are short, but they have to be fit both mentally and physically. Some soldiers, when civilians, were once prosecuted for an offence, but have set their old lives behind them and embarked on a new and greater path. Some soldiers have a degree, others barely a GCSE, but they're all highly skilled in their trades and professions, be it a cook, a lawyer, or combat infantryman. Some can speak one language, others several. Some come from wealthy homes, some from poor, and some have no homes at all. Some may even be a prince. Many were certainly paupers. All of them abide by a code of courage, discipline, respect for others, integrity, loyalty, and selfless commitment. The modern soldier can be sent anywhere in the world to defend a country or themselves, helping a local population in a natural disaster, or lifting the impact of civil unrest and labour disputes. The modern soldier knows that evil exists, and that when it is organised and intent on war, subjugation, enslavement, and genocide will follow. The modern soldier knows that folks before them have, and will do, put evil out of business. The modern soldier knows that many like them have paid the ultimate price, and that they may have to do likewise. The soldier knows that their cause is just and their profession is noble. A soldier knows that they are needed, but wishes a better world existed so that they weren't. The modern soldier will shed a tear when remembering fallen comrades. The modern British soldier is what I see in the mirror.
Please stand and remain standing until Mr. Hudson instructs you to sit. The Royal Latin School Roll of Honour. The names of those members of the Royal Latin School who gave their lives during the Great War, 1914 to 1918. Charles Henry Bennett, MC. Ernest Broughton. Cecil Butler. Samuel Clifford. John Cox. Frederick Cubbage. Warwick Curtis. Cecil Vernon Gardner, DFC. Percy Gardner. Percival George. Douglas Hartland. Girth Holland. Tom Bennett Jones. Sidney Lester. John Marshall. Thomas Morgans. Harry Parrott. Arthur Pearson, MC. Harry Priest. Reginald Purcell. Richard Reed. Frank Shedd. Morris Smith. John Stedman. William Stedman. Reginald Strickland. Francis Watts. Frank Wood. The names of those members of the Royal Latin School who gave their lives during the Second World War, 1939 to 1945. Leslie Ackerman. Ronald Bishop. Geoffrey Bradshaw. Dennis Bull. Cyril Capel. John Cox. Ernest Dagley. Winston Holton. Jack Hounslow. Dennis Hughes. Anthony Leahy. Roy Lucas. Thomas Markham. Stanley Moorhen. William Potter. Sidney Rawlings. James Richardson. Frederick Saxby. Roy Harding Smith. Trevor Harding Smith. Dennis White. Charles Wigley. George Wigley.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
So that we can enjoy freedom today, we honour those who fought for our country and those who died. John Maxwell Edmonds wrote the famous words after World War I. When you go home, tell them of us and say, for their tomorrow we gave our today. And on behalf of the students of the Royal Latin School, we thank those who fought and died for us. We promise that we will remember them forever.
Thank you. Please be seated. I wish to thank all of those who've so willingly taken part in our service. I also hope that our honoured guests now watching at home will be reassured that Royal Latin School is thinking of you and remembering you, your comrades and those who did not make it home. It's crucial that we preserve the memories of those who sacrificed their lives. To our students, I'm sure as the next generation you'll continue to remember those who have lost their lives and also provide support for those relatives and neighbours who may still be affected. Thank you.